I don't like the looks of this.
Death Troopers is a Star Wars novel written by Joe Schreiber. Schreiber's idea was to create a horror story in the Star Wars universe that pulled from horror movies that he enjoyed, such as The Shining and Alien. The novel is the first Star Wars horror story since the Galaxy of Fear series, released in the late 1990s. Death Troopers, released October 13, 2009, is set just before the events shown in A New Hope. I remember when this book originally came out, I was in middle school and was super excited for a zombie Star Wars book. Is this book as cool as I remember? Is the concept better than the book itself? Let's talk about it. The plot of this book is pretty interesting. When the Imperial prison barge Purge, temporary home to 500 of the galaxy's most ruthless killers, rebels, scoundrels, and thieves, breaks down in a distant, uninhabited part of the space, its only hope seems to lie with a Star Destroyer found drifting, derelict, and seemingly abandoned. But when a boarding party is sent to scavenge for parts, only half of them come back, bringing with them a horrific disease so lethal that within hours, nearly all aboard the Purge will die in ways too hideous to imagine. And death is only the beginning. The Purge's half-dozen survivors, 2 teenage brothers, a sadistic captain of the guards, a couple of rogue smugglers, and a chief medical officer, the lone woman on board, will do whatever it takes to stay alive, but nothing can prepare them for what lies waiting on board the Star Destroyer, amid its vast, creaking emptiness that isn't really empty at all, for the dead are rising, soulless, unstoppable, and unspeakably hungry. I think almost all of us would agree that the concept of this book is pretty cool. Zombies in Star Wars is a great elevator pitch, but after reading through this book for the first time in over 10 years, I gotta say I was pretty disappointed. My first issue with this book is the characters. I didn't really find any of them very likable. We have our twin brothers, Trig and Kale, who recently lost their father, and these two weren't bad, and I don't think the characters were bad, they just weren't memorable at all. Now, the person that killed their father was Sartorius. He's the captain of the guard on the barge. He probably has one of the best parts in the entire book. Slight spoilers, but I have to talk about this part. So eventually he makes it to the abandoned Star Destroyer and comes across a group of survivors on the ship. We found out that there was originally 30 survivors, and now there's only about 7 left. They tried feeding some survivors to the zombies, hoping to distract them. That didn't work, and more zombies showed up. So they began to starve and went full Donner Party in there, eating each other to stay alive, even leaving neatly stacked clothes in the corner. Overall, his character wasn't that great either. Our next main character is Zahara Cody. She is the chief medical officer on the prison barge. One thing about her in the book was nearly every time she would talk to someone in the book, we'd get someone else talking or thinking about how hot they thought she was. But outside of learning that she is from a wealthy family and had a fling with her old mentor, we don't learn much about her, and she isn't very interesting. Now, there are a couple more characters in this book, but I don't want to mention who they are because I thought it was a pleasant surprise when they showed up. Definitely helped give the story a little more life. The zombies also don't start showing up until chapter 25, more than halfway through the book. Now, I don't mind a long build-up, it's just that the build-up was kind of boring. The entire first half of the book was just waiting for the zombies to show up. Later in the book, the zombies are shown to actually have some brains, and not just for dinner. They use weapons and try to attack our group of survivors, and that was very interesting. Something else I liked about the zombie outbreak was that Dr. Cody was able to create a cure pretty quickly, which makes sense considering the technology that they have. We also learned from those Donner Party members that their medical officer was able to also make a cure. But the zombies just spread way too fast for them to really use it on any of the remaining healthy people. I also didn't find the zombie action to be very exciting. The way it was written, I just didn't find it very compelling. I feel bad saying that because I wanted to love this book. It's October right now, I love Star Wars, I love zombies, and the mix of the two sounds great to me, but unfortunately this book is just more of a novelty with a great concept, with a not so great execution. It's not bad by any means, just sorta mediocre, nothing very memorable outside of that it has zombies. On September 22nd, 2010, Ballantine Books revealed the cover of the prequel novel, also by Schreiber, called Red Harvest. I haven't read that one before, Even though I wasn't super positive on Death Troopers, I still want to give Red Harvest a read. That could be the Star Wars zombie book that I've been looking for. And to finish out the video, I saw an interesting note on Wikipedia that the next story chronologically is The Force Unleashed 2. So that's pretty cool. Have you read Death Troopers? Let me know what you thought.